Hi everyone, welcome back to the TVI Podcast. Carl Donnelly here.
Say less.
Say less. Julian Deane over there. Guest. Is it your first time on here, Annie, or is it the returning?
Yeah, I think it is.
It is. Annie Mcgrath.
I think I was supposed to do it a while ago and then flaked out for a reason I can't remember.
Yeah, or we just
some sort of lie that I can't maintain because I can't remember what it was.
Reason.
Our admin is famously shit, so it could have been one of us as well. But welcome, joining us from where are you? London. You're in London.
In London, have you heard of it?
Well, I have. London. I haven't. Not for a while. I've been in Australia now for fucking 4 months.
Are you in Australia?
I am, yeah, and
oh, wow.
I've been here since November. I'm going like full on stir crazy. Like it's too long to be somewhere that you don't live. I've realised. Like,
yeah. So it's nighttime for you.
Yeah, it's now 9:06 p.m.
Wow,
which actually is
night.
Well, as a father of a 3 3/4-year-old, this is about my bedtime when I'm not gigging now. Like, and I love it. Like last night, I've been going to bed really early and getting up like too early, sort of, like one of them sort of proper, up at the crack.
Doing your ice baths and
well, no, not even doing that. Just
sprints,
getting up and just being up and about. Like, but then the problem is, once you get into that routine, if you wake up if I wake up between the window of 4 and 6 a.m., I'm up.
Wank time.
I'm up now.
Yeah.
Like today, I woke up.
Was that not what you meant? Sorry.
I woke up at 20 to 5 in the morning today, and I was just awake. I was like, I'm up now. So I got up and I made waffles. I started making waffles for when
they're early risers over there, aren't they?
What, bird's eye waffles?
No, not bird's eye waffles, like fucking waffles, mate. I'm not 4 years old.
Some alphabet-y spaghetti.
Although, do you know what? When's the last time you had a bird's eye potato waffle? Both of you.
Do you know what? I don't think I've ever had one.
That is unacceptable.
Should I log out of the podcast?
Yeah, do you mind?
Sorry, yeah.
Really? Like, because I hadn't had one since I would say 11 years old, and then I was at some friends a while ago who have a child the same age as me and my wife, and they gave their daughter
the same age as you and your wife. That's an old child.
But they gave their kid a potato waffle.
I'm always on, Annie.
As a quick
snack. Yeah, I know, it's good.
They got them out of the freezer, chucked one in a toaster on defrost, gave it to their kid.
Not really.
As a snack. And then I went, can I have one? And I tried one. They are well tasty, actually. They're shit, but well tasty.
It's weird because they're just chips, aren't they? But just a different shape.
Yeah, but the thing about chips is the shape is the thing, isn't it? That's what most of the taste of a chip. Well, no, I mean it's probably psychosomatic. Like, what's your favorite chip shape? Welcome to the hard-hitting questions of TVI Podcast, Nanny Mcgrath.
Well, curly fries were quite exciting at school, weren't they? Did you ever have curly fries?
I don't really like curly fries for some reason.
No, I don't like the taste of them, but shape-wise, they've got a lot going on.
You had curly fries at school, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a bit posh.
What school did you go to? I thought it was from the streets, man. Not really.
Yeah, I put up a good show of it, but
what school did you go to?
Oh, are you trying to get me cancelled?
Why is it?
Yes,
a school or something. What
Why was it the Nazi youth school?
Actually, I did find out recently that one of my teachers was a pedo.
I mean,
teachers.
I think 40% of teachers are pedos.
That's an absolutely made up statistic.
I've read the data.
Such a huge claim.
But
I reckon 1 in every school minimum.
What age are you, if you don't mind me asking?
20.
Okay.
He does mind you.
You do mind me asking. What I mean is there's a generation of people, and it's probably a bracket of there's an age. If you're above a certain age, I think you definitely had a paedophile teacher at school. I think it has got better now. I think they have phased out.
I just think the pedos have probably got smarter.
What, they're just not getting caught?
Yeah, like back in the day, it was just. I remember my I've said it before. Like she tried kissing me, didn't she, when I was 11?
Nice.
Yeah, that's not very subtle.
Nice.
Yeah, but we were at a party, like the school party, and she just said, "Give me a." She tried kissing me.
That's fucked. That's so fucked.
And what did you say? Did you do it?
I mean, we've been together now for 30 years.
30 years.
I've got to rock the school uniform every now and then.
No, what did you do again? I can't actually remember. You have mentioned this story before.
Me?
Yeah, what did you do?
I just was shy. Even though I fancied her, I was just shy. I was only 11. I just
Well, yeah,
like,
I mean, the
no.
fact you were 11 is the main answer.
Yeah, I just kind of clammed up, man. I had no riz back then, man.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Pussy.
Nowadays,
very down with
man.
the kids saying
Yeah.
Riz. I only learnt that word at Christmas.
I've never heard it before, so thanks, guys.
It's short for charisma.
Oh, is it?
Is it? I didn't know that.
Isn't it charismatic? Like,
yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, I didn't know, but I did have.
How
Riz
old was
then.
the teacher when you were 11?
She must have. It's hard to say, isn't it, when you're that age? But she was a lady, obviously.
Yeah.
She must have been in her. She was the head of our whole year, so she must have been in her 30s minimum.
Yes.
But she was. I fancied her, no doubt.
Okay.
And she could tell.
Yeah. She laid it out for you, and you just fucking knocked her back, mate.
Just put it on a plate, mate.
It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. But the back to the main point we were discussing, and that was curly fries don't taste good, despite
agree. I do agree.
Yeah, that's like sweet potato chips are always a bit. I always think that's a good idea, but they're always just rubbery and stuff.
They are, but
if you get a crispy one, I think they're good.
Yeah, and also they are much healthier. So like, I have recently forced myself to start liking sweet potato chips, I suppose, or I'll sort of knock a few up on the side. Wedges, obviously, the shittest of all the chip shapes.
Yeah, I like a triple cooked chip.
A Burger King one?
Fat and crispy.
No, a pub chip.
No, the gastropub one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
My favourite, before we move on to an actual proper topic, is
Excuse me.
I love a chip, just a proper old chip shop chip. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, they're probably the best,
soggy and
aren't they?
vinegary.
Fat and soggy.
Vinegar. Bit of kebab meat, not really.
But yeah, I think they are the gold standard of chips. But any funny shapes just can fuck off. Like, I think it just
the faces ones, yeah.
Where do you stand on truffle chips?
Well, I mean, I love truffle. I love truffle oil. I like it on certain things. And
never heard of it.
I went to a coffee shop in, where was I?
They sell it in Asda.
I was in Brisbane the other week, and I went to a cafe, and they had truffled sriracha, and it was one of the tastiest.
Sriracha, the sauce,
the hot sauce, and it was truffled.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I discovered that.
I feel like
it's
a fine line, though, isn't it, between like it can sort of make or break a meal because it sort of smells absolutely disgusting.
Yes,
but it tastes delicious.
Yeah.
Makes your meal stink.
Yeah, but it's the good stuff. I suppose garlic does if you overshoot the,
Food smells like shit. Try it though, it's nice.
I grew a lion's mane mushroom recently. Have you ever had a lion's mane mushroom?
No, that's a nice thing to say though.
It's a big fat, it's quite smooth mushroom. It sort of looks, I'm trying to think, I can't even describe it. It looks like a sort of fruit or something, or like a big potato, but pure sort of white, off-white. And when you cook it and slice it, it's incredibly meaty and very dense. But I grew one in a
sounds revolting.
In a pantry.
Meaty and dense.
Sound better.
But mushrooms are a very diverse branch of foods.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you vegan?
Good chat. Yeah.
I don't like diversity.
No, you
not
don't.
really. That was a joke.
But your diet is pretty. I'd say your diet is pretty. Narrow the parameters. You're quite simple. You eat for
saying
fuel.
I'm stupid.
You eat you eat sort of like a fuckwit. Oh no, yeah. I mean, what I'm saying is,
are you like a meat and two veg guy, Julian?
No,
wow,
I'm so pale, man. Why do I do that?
But what I'm saying is, you
I
eat
just got
for
my dick out, everyone.
You eat for fuel. You eat for fuel rather than.
I do eat for fuel. Yeah, like
I'm into food.
No, I'm not a foodie. No, I think it's like people who. I mean, everyone likes music, obviously. Like, how can you not? But some people are like too into it, don't you think?
Well,
yeah.
Well, what like
Do you
what?
know what I mean? Like,
But like, what are your hobbies and interests? What's the most thing you're most passionate about? That all you got to do is equate it to that. I think when it comes to interests, like what's the thing
Yeah,
that
but with
you?
music, I feel like there's a lot of like power play by people who know their music. So when they ask
pretension
you what
and
music you like, I always panic, even though
Right. I suppose.
I know.
Yeah. But I think, but you can still be really into music, and I think it is an understandable hobby, isn't it? Like to be into
Yeah, I
music.
guess so. Yeah.
yeah,
And
But
food
Pete,
is, you do have to eat food, so I think it's also a valid hobby, like
yeah, that's true.
interest.
yeah,
Are you the sort of guy that would have Huel then, Julian?
that's not somebody who eats for fuel, really knows what they're doing, who would have fuel, I don't think.
Why? What is
That's a convenient. It's not a bad thing. It's a convenience thing.
You've talked on here about how you drink Herbalife and you smoking.
Herbalife, I like. Yeah, it just that. But
What's Herbalife?
It's
It
similar
sounds
to
like
fuel,
fuel,
I
isn't
guess.
it?
All right, so yeah, is the answer to that.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
It's
getting
exactly the same
exposed here.
concept. Yeah, you are.
I'm trying to sound smart and it ain't working.
You'd be good in space because they just sort of like powdered shakes, don't they? Like ice cream that's made of powder.
Yeah. Yeah, do they?
Yeah. What do you think they?
I've got to go all the way
I mean,
to
I'm not an
space to
expert.
be normal. You'd be good if you lived on another planet. You might fit in better.
I wish you lived in space.
Julian, can't you fuck off?
Oh God.
Yeah, but but I do eat for fuel, but it's not a choice. Like it's just I grew up kind of really healthy. My mum's like super healthy, man, and like vegan mainly.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really I'd never really liked food, to be honest.
Mm.
So if you don't love food, you may as well eat healthily. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. But yeah, I think I went the other way. I grew up in my parents were Irish. They were proper meat and two veg.
Guinness
But
for
the most,
brekkie.
well, yeah, like it was just booze and bland food. So I did the opposite of like just dancing all the time,
doing the jig in the morning.
But
I used to Irish dance actually. Did you?
Did you?
Yeah.
Because what's your obviously the name, you have an Irish name.
I won't flex that.
What's the Irish?
Well done.
How Irish is your background?
Thank you for asking. I'm actually 5'8" Irish. So I've got the passport. Yeah.
Nice.
Don't have the accent.
How do you know the exact maths of that?
Because my mum is 100% and my dad is a quarter, I think.
Yeah.
Then I just did the maths myself.
That sounds about right.
That's
Have you ever done
smart.
a DNA test?
No, do you think I should?
To see if they're your real parents.
Is this the big reveal on the podcast?
See if you flag up on any Interpol
Julian's
databases.
my dad.
No, but it's because I did one of those.
I'm not. I'm old enough to be your older brother, not your dad.
Yeah, I know.
Have you ever seen? I'm sure. Do you know the comedian Michael Redmond? Very funny.
Oh yeah,
Irish comedian.
He's your dad.
No, but he's he's one of. He's got a. I don't. I mean, this is years ago. I saw him do it. It's so funny. He's quite a quoted comedian, actually. He had a joke because obviously
he's shit is the quote.
He's quite an old. He's an older chap. And looks like big grey hair and grey tash. I literally just described myself, but that's different. But he, and
your character act.
He is actually my dad. I think
he gets quoted a lot by me.
Yeah, but he used to sort of, if there was like a group of young like women on the front row, sort of early 20s, and he's obviously like he would have been mid-60s and looks sort of naturally the way he looks is quite dour and older, and he used to be like start chatting to them. On stage, and then he'd go like, "Oh, I'm not trying to chat you up there. Like, I'm old enough to be your really old boyfriend," and it's just a really funny line. It's very silly. But what's your relationship with food, Annie? That sounded more like a psychologist.
I think it's quite good. I would say I'm fairly healthy. My mum is Irish, but is very into her food. Maybe as a result of going to like different Catholic convents in Northern Ireland where they ate absolute crap. and not very much of it. But she is now a nutritional therapist, so she's
Oh,
always,
that's
Oh,
very
your
good.
mum is. Oh, that's good.
yeah, an osteopath / nutritional therapist.
Oh, nice. So you can get yourself aligned and nice food and stuff.
Yeah, I
Does
think
she
so.
do your back and things?
Yeah. Although my
What is
posture's
that?
quite bad.
What is that?
That's well handy.
I'm an idiot. What is an osteopath? Is what is posture?
It's a
Bones
back
and
doctor.
Oh, it's
muscles.
just bones. It's bones
Yeah.
and muscles. Yeah, it's not
It's
posture.
bones and muscles. I
It's
think
not-
she'd describe it better than that. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a chiropractor. They're very similar, but there's differences, aren't there?
yeah, I think you have more of a medical background with osteopathy, and
Well,
it
'cause
looks
I've
at the body
heard-
as a whole rather than like my arm hurts, so I'll fix your arm. It's more of a holistic.
Is it true?
It's more like my arm
is it true
hurts,
that
so I'll fix your toes.
chiropractors? Is it true chiropractors essentially are totally unmedically trained and like it's all sort of its own?
I've been to one and it helped a lot.
Right. Okay.
But they're not recognised by science technically.
That's what I mean. I've just seen I've read a few things about them being like almost like
It's
a
a bit of
Wild
Billy
West.
bullshit, I think. Yeah.
That's what I've heard. Yes. What would your mum's take be on a chiropractor?
Yeah, I mean, maybe you should have got her on the podcast. I think she'd be more informed than me.
Just wanted to start.
Yeah, my understanding is that they have more of a medical background.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, look at my mascara! It's just started running from crying.
I thought I saw that and I thought it was a spot of something on my screen, so I didn't say anything.
No, that's on my face. It's just one solitary tear.
Yeah, it looked like.
out.
Have you killed someone recently?
Why
Got
did I
a
agree to
tattoo?
do
Is that
this?
what's happened?
Podcast.
You got a teardrop tattoo. You just got out of jail.
Yeah, it's my first podcast after coming out of jail.
Speaking
But you
of jail,
play sports and stuff, don't you play football?
Yeah, I did
imagine
actually
that?
get a tattoo of a football.
Did you? On your
yeah, do you want
foot?
to see it? Yeah.
is it Oh yeah.
Sorry, that's just me showing you my tattoo. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Is that a football?
Yeah, that does just look like a mole.
It looks
Do you want to see my moles?
Yeah. It's something a hairy.
Do you want to see my stage 4?
I got it with Jill Scott, former Lioness.
Oh yeah. And
Ah.
is that your first and only tattoo?
Yeah, can you tell by the way?
Because that's exactly where my friend Garrett has one tattoo only that he got when he was younger, and it's in the exact same position. It's a Chinese symbol that definitely doesn't say what he thinks it says. But
what does he think it says?
Well, I can't remember, but I'm sure. I remember it was such a dodgy tattoo parlor. I reckon they just took the piss out of him. But
yeah,
that's a real. I'm gonna get one tattoo only, and I'll admit.
That's a real gap year tattoo. Isn't it?
Just
I'm looking to get a
mine
tattoo
higher up on my ankle. They were like, no, do you want it a bit higher up so it's more visible? But no, I want to be able to hide it.
Full kneecap. You should have gone full kneecap.
Yeah, full face.
What are you going to get, Julian? What would be your
I don't know, actually. I don't know.
Have you got any? No.
I've got none, no. But
where would you want it?
I don't know if it's a midlife crisis or not, but I'm really keep looking at people's tattoos and thinking, yeah, I'd want to get some ink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big or
neck,
little?
Just like a big fucking gun up my neck, just like
just maybe like a vape pen or something.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Vape pen hanging out your mouth.
A cigarette going up my cheek. A big dick down my inner leg. Oh, sorry, that flopped out.
I don't know if I mentioned on here before, but I went with my mate, and when we were 17, I went with a friend to get his first tattoo, and he was getting a big inverted sort of sword down his back with like a dragon round it. It was fucked, and and it was so painful as well, because like down the middle of your back's quite a painful location for him, and it was his first one as well, and it was quite a big piece. It was a few hours, and while I was waiting, I went for moral support, and I was sat in the waiting room. And just this crazy bastard just walked in, clearly off his nut, and just went up and like sort of went to the person at the reception and went, "Hey mate, I just want to ask." He goes, "How much would it be to get like 2 women's legs, like full size, like one kind, like basically start there, and one goes down this arm, one goes down this arm, and like their feet are down there." And he just said it like so, like, "How much would that be?" And you could see
on cocaine or something.
He was on something, and the guy was like, "Right, yeah, maybe if we'd have to sort of knock up a quote and send it to you." Like the guy was just like, "Fuck off out of my shop!" Like, I don't want a quote for this because it's not real, mate. You don't really want this. You're just having a psychosis. But like,
I tried getting a
waking up with
tattoo.
that.
I tried getting one when I was 15, but they wouldn't serve me. Thankfully, I was going to get a Millwall tattoo.
Oh my god!
Oh, no.
I didn't even like football. Like I was just in the queue, and my mate was. I don't know. I wasn't even going to go there for a tattoo. I went there with someone. I was like, I'll just get a Millwall tattoo. I didn't even support them.
Fuck.
They've got the scariest fans as well, haven't they?
I know. And also the most sort of enemies. You don't want to find yourself, you know, just it being spotted by the wrong person. That's the thing. I'd never get a Tottenham tattoo, even though I'm a lifelong Tottenham fan, because in my head, part of me thinks, what if I ended up accidentally in a prison cell overnight and I'm with 5 horrible Arsenal
for murder?
Yeah, I mean. So yeah, I've always been. I'm always like, don't get an affiliation to anything on you. That's always if you're gonna get them, keep it pretty sort of vague.
A little swastika or something. You've got to avoid that kind of thing, haven't you?
Right.
Just get it somewhere like that's not on show at least. You know.
Yeah.
Bum cheek or something.
Yeah.
I've none of mine are really on show. I've got one on this arm that I like. If I'm wearing short sleeves, it's visible. I very rarely wear short sleeves. Like
I feel like getting a bit of writing, like maybe on my pec.
Saying what?
Yeah.
My strong pec.
just saying, this is my strong pec.
Yeah.
Saying strong.
What does yours say, Carl?
I've got a few. The one on my arm there is
that's a Hitler speech.
That's a quote from a hymn called "When a Knight Won His Spurs." Is
that his pronoun?
It's so I've got
He's a hymn, is he?
I've got a few that are a bit shit. Like I've got something like one in there. I've got another one in there.
What's that? The DMT? That's DMT, isn't it?
That one there's that was a drunken tattoo that I got after an all-nighter.
Yeah, you can tell.
It's a matching tattoo with the comedian.
Was the tattooist drunk?
I mean, the guy should not have let us be getting them, man. But we just sort of.
What does it say? That red one?
It's the letters NB, which stands for Naughty Boys. So it was a very rash decision on me and Kai's part to get matching tattoos.
Isn't that what you say in an email? NB.
NB, yeah.
What does NB stand for again?
NB.
I don't know. No, I don't know. It's definitely not Naughty
Maybe
Boys.
It is Naughty Boys.
It could be Naughty Boys.
I've been a naughty boy, by the way. What's NB on an email? Oh yeah, I should know that because I've sent an email before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many? Actually, you emailed. I know you didn't email me.
No.
Let's do.
I was thinking about the first time I met you, Julian, and it was that gig in Bexhill-on-Sea.
Do you think about that a lot? Yeah.
I thought about it recently because I remember our management saying, "Oh, good news, guys! The gig sold out." And we got there, and it was a Christmas party.
Oh my god!
Like, yeah, it sold out because it's one company, and
my glove box was open the whole way.
Yeah, I got a lift with Julian, and your wing mirror had smashed and sort of was hanging on by a thread. And every time you braked, the glove compartment fell on my lap.
Oh god.
That was the gig that woman, when we were sort of backstage, which was just like in the same room by the speaker, she came up to me and asked me if I had a vase.
A vase?
I think she thought I was a waitress.
Oh no!
Oh, that's 2 male acts and me, so she was holding vase duty.
Yeah, that was Bexhill-on-Sea.
Where is Bexhill-on-Sea?
Yeah,
near Hastings.
Right. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, Kent. Is it?
Kent. Yeah.
Let's do some questions.
Times.
Come on, let's do some questions from listeners/patrons. Have you ever had a joke that was good but didn't work because it didn't go well with your on-stage persona? And somebody then has added, oh no, then he's followed up with and maybe given it to another comic. I've sold jokes that I don't do. Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Who did you sell them to? And what's your rate?
Look at you in the market for some new jokes.
Yeah, asking for a friend.
It was quite a lot of money, and they're very big very big comedian. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
but
It was that.
I
Did you
don't
see?
know. It's
It
not.
was basically that Julian wrote that whole Dave Chappelle trans show.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Just trying to get other comedians cancelled.
Roy Chubby Brown's
Yeah.
tour show. Just didn't
Yeah.
work for me at Top Secret.
I've given
Um,
jokes to mates when, like, sort of, you know, in that I've said I've sort of had an idea and I've been chatting to a comedian friend and I'm like, I don't, and I've sort of said, oh, you should try it. I think it'd work better for you, and they've used it.
The N word's fine to say, honestly.
But
I can do it because it doesn't fit with my persona. But you
Yeah.
yeah, it's a bit, it's, you know, a bit about being an ugly wanker. Doesn't suit me. Suits you. No, but it's yeah, I've given mates, yeah, or I've been writing with a friend, and we've sort of worked up a bit, and then the idea was we were working on my bits and we go back and forth. But as we've worked up a bit, it's sort of been like, I've gone like, no, actually, that's yours. That sounds better with you. So
Yeah.
they've sort of walked away with it. But yeah, I definitely have. I don't think I've written anything that hasn't been sounded like me for ages. Because the longer you do it, the more you write in your own voice, don't you? It all comes out a bit more fully formed.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to think if I've given anyone any jokes. I mean, I went out with a comedian, so that you sort of end up writing bits for each other, sort of.
Yeah.
Which comedian?
Stuart Laws.
Stuart who? Stuart Law. Stuart Law. I thought you said Stuart Mills.
I thought you said that like
Stuart
a little
Law.
dig out, like who the fuck?
Yeah, I know.
But,
No, I thought you said Stuart Mills. I know.
so what's it?
I've known
So you
Stuart
actually
Laws
did like
years, yeah.
genuinely write? You know, you would sort of, you know, was it a?
Well, I think you just have conversations, and the more you're just like, I don't know, the longer you're together, the more sort of stories you have, and
Yeah.
You sort of end up gigging together and working out bits together. And
Yeah, I suppose.
Can I just say I've known Stuart Laws years, and I definitely know him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I know you do.
Just to
a
clarify.
disclaimer.
I thought you were doing a bit actually, because I do know.
I thought
Yeah. He's a nice guy.
Here we go.
What happened then? Why did you split?
This is not podcast material.
Let's not talk about
Unless
that,
you want
mate.
another tear to roll out of my right eye.
Oh.
Let's talk about something else, Julian.
Yeah, great idea, actually.
What's Annie's favourite? The writing, performing, or the art when it comes to comedy?
Interesting.
But also you act as well, so you've got other strings to your bow.
Yeah. I do. I've spread myself too thin. What do I like most? I mean, when a gig is a good gig, there's no other feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, being the person that's made everyone laugh.
Unless the best feeling is when a gig gets cancelled and you haven't set off yet.
Oh yeah, and you still get
I mean, that's the best feeling.
That's the best feeling.
We did a lovely gig last year, or was it the year before? Do you remember that outside gig we did?
Oh fuck! Where was that?
It's like Guildfordy, kind of. I don't know where it was.
Oh yeah, it was nice in the end.
Yeah, but the sun was coming down.
Gig.
In the end, there was a real tell there about.
At the beginning, yeah, but as the sun was setting, and by the time I went on, it was like really dark and nice.
Yeah, we lucked out. I think we were in the second half or something. That was fun. I wonder where that was. Was it in a castle? Didn't it say it was a castle? But we got there and it was like a brick wall.
Yeah, it was like something or other.
Some ruins of a castle.
The sky was there.
I did a gig a couple of years ago. It was sort of.
It was that Avalon one down in.
I know where you're talking about. I definitely think I did that as well. A different night.
I think just when you said outdoor gig, I just had so many sort of, I don't know, triggered me to think of all the post-COVID gigs with masks on.
I remember.
Oh, God.
I did some Battersea Arts Centre ones out in their little courtyard, and everyone the audience all had to wear masks. It was such a weird experience.
That was quite nice. That little venue, though.
They're nice, and it was a nice enough gig in that. But it was just looking back. That everyone was wearing masks. It was such a weird experience to be doing.
Yeah.
At the time, you were just like, "This is fun, isn't it?" But like, it was just purely. I think we talked ourselves into it being a normal.
That was my first gig after months, man. I was so nervous, thinking, "What am I even doing? What is this job?" Like, you've got to go over them, like, speak in front of everyone.
Was any part of you like, hopefully, stand up will never come back, and we can just have a normal?
I didn't. I don't know if I missed it. I don't know. Like, I got back into it and I started to like it, but it took a crowds were like, there was a lot of nice buzz, wasn't there? A nice feeling in the room, I guess.
Yeah, there was
straight after lockdown.
Yes. It was I didn't miss it for about 3 months, I think. I definitely for that first 3 months I was like, oh, this is what it's like to have a normal life. Like I was watching like, you know, Saturday night television. I'd never watched Strictly Come Dancing before. Like and suddenly I'm watching things like that, and even though it's like all that stuff sort of crap, I was like, this is a nice way to live, to like just sit in front of the telly on a Saturday and get a takeaway.
To not be getting the train to Hereford.
It was lovely. Getting up in the morning and thinking
weird.
I can stay in all day and night for like weeks and it's all right.
I basically never done that. Like I was a kid, and then I started working, but I was young, and all my maybe we'd go out at the weekend and just get shit faced from the moment we finished work on Friday till we went back to work on Monday. And then I started comedy. So I've never ever experienced what it's like to be a normal person at a weekend who just has a sort of quite a nice home life. So like I just found it such a revelation. It's definitely it's what I took away from it was I'm now much more of a home bird in that I don't leave home that
same.
I don't gig out when I'm in London. I don't gig out of town hardly ever. You know, I do stick to London, and I like to get home early. And like I'm just a bit of a boring.
You're really into Strictly now.
I love. You know what? I genuinely do like it now.
Never miss an episode.
You've been dancing around the house.
Yeah, straight on
doing the cha-cha
Sunday morning. You know what I mean? Get up, match of the day, fucking Strictly. Yes, please.
I don't know how to answer that. I like painting. I like the mixture of it. I mean, stand-up's quite sociable in a way, in that you're with people all the time, but there's also an element of it, as you both know, that's quite lonely when you're just
painting looks really like meditative and therapeutic, and it looks really nice. Like, but I just can't draw. I'm shit.
I bet you can, I
haven't got the patience.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I can though.
I reckon you can. I back you.
Because I'm just so talented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're sort of fearless, I think. You strike me as someone who's not worried about failing. That's supposed to be a compliment.
Not worried about what anyone thinks of them.
Can we edit out that last 3 words? You're really fearless. You don't care what you look like, what you sound like. You're a loser, and you don't care about
like how you come across to anyone else on earth.
You don't care about your breath, man. It's admirable. Most people care about their teeth and what they look. What are they? Your paintings behind you?
That one is.
Oh, nice.
So
okay, so we both can't draw. Not really.
Exactly. That's just like a splash of colour, basically.
You don't care what you put on your wall. It's so
I'll put anything up.
It was like covering a hole or something.
That was a real lockdown painting.
That's really nice, though. I like it.
Thanks. I went very abstract.
Do you sell paintings?
I do. I only really started doing that in the pandemic when all the comedy work sort of dried up. And then I set up an Instagram account and just managed to get some commissions.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So I think people that had more money in lockdown were just sort of stuck at home and wanting.
What's your Instagram handle?
Thanks for asking, Julian. It's mcgrath.art, I think.
Can we edit that out? Cool.
Mcgrath.annie and mcgrath.art.
Mcgrath.art.
Okay.
And mcgrath.annie.
Yeah, I've also just joined TikTok, which makes me feel about 1,000 years old.
I know.
I saw you were on it, Carl. Are you on it?
I'm on it, but I haven't been on it for like. I can't access it.
We've got a TVI TikTok. I've got a TikTok. I don't really do anything on it though.
It's scary to me, but I'm trying to start doing sketches, and it takes me so long to.
Yeah.
Google.
But I don't think I've opened TikTok since like mid-December. That's the last time I opened it. Just because
that's where everyone is. I realise.
I know everyone's there, and that's what I realise it's the third time I've tried to go on TikTok that in December, where it's like about once every 6 months I go, I should get on there, and I download it again and I open it, and just within a few days I'm like, this can't be part of this. Like, it does feel like the one the most that's just raw. It literally feels like it's killing me as I'm watching it. I'm looking at it.
I'm on it a lot, like watching stuff. Not a lot, but like, I do have a little look on there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's almost like I've drawn my line in the sand with social media. Is that one is one step too far? I just can't.
That's what I thought, and now I'm a convert since
Oh,
I put
no.
one thing up that went well. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
place
yeah.
is great. Because Twitter now is just like a barren wasteland.
One of my first
Yeah, no one goes
posts
on
just got
Twitter.
over 1 million on there, and I'm like, fucking hell, TikTok's amazing.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah.
But but I suppose it's that it's not the posting stuff. It's just when you open to post something, naturally you will see other things.
Yeah, it's so noisy. That's what I don't like about it. You open it and it's immediately.
It's good algorithms though. If you like stuff, it would just give you more of that, and like
it's also quick and toxic to your brain.
I know.
If your brain should work.
It's not great for your brain, man.
Yeah.
No, I'm still rocking the. I've got an app that I've been using for the last 5 weeks, probably maybe a month.
Grinder.
It's called. It's great. Everywhere you go, you can literally just pick up. But it's
like Deliveroo for dicks.
That should be their tagline.
That's a great tagline. But it's called Opal, and it basically in the morning I get up. And at 9, I've got it set 9 till 5. I can't look at anything on my phone. I can get a message on WhatsApp, and that's it, basically. Or I can get an email, but I can't look at any single thing outside of that on my phone. And then after 5 o'clock, I normally
from 9 to 5 all day.
All day, I can't look at any social media at all.
Wow.
And then
that's like Google Nanny. Do you remember Google Nanny?
No.
Where it would just tell you the same thing. It just sort of wouldn't allow you to go on stuff.
And it's really good. It's really good. I feel so much better for it. And normally it gets to 5 and I'll check it. And then I've got it set that I can just hit a button and it goes into another 2.5 hour block. So I'll check it for like 10 minutes at 5 and then hit a 2.5 hour block. So that means the whole of dinner time and all that stuff, I can't look at it either. And then sort of, if I go to a gig, then en route to the gig, I sometimes have a look because I've come out of that window. And then normally once I get to the gig, I just whack it back on. I can't look at it again. So like throughout the day, I'm allowing myself like 3 windows of 10 minutes or so to look at stuff. And it's really
good.
Yeah, my Instagram's set to 15 minutes. So after I've been on it for 15 minutes, it's like, you need to close the app. And then I click, not now. And then
right.
5 hours.
yeah. Who are you talking to? I bought the phone.
You fuck off. You don't make the rules.
Fuck off, Nan, you whore.
We got a question last week we didn't get round to that they've actually sent again, just going, just in case you get round to it this week. So this is from Mike. He says, can I ask the question? Based on your experience and general chat on the circuit, who are the nicest big name headline acts to be support act for? Most supportive, generous? And between us, which headliners have the reputation for being a bit of a prick, not good to support? What's the script with support slots?
Between us on this
between us. Guys, don't tell them. And they've actually asked a technical thing, which is like, when you do supports, do you get travel accommodation sorted? Which is quite a nice. Some people like to know the actual ins and outs. There's a lot to unpack there. First off, the admin of supporting, or it's different for everyone. Everyone has a different, tour. If you're like, I did Kevin Bridges' support in Europe and Australia and New Zealand, and naturally, because there was that level of traveling, they're obviously covering all your your travel, your accommodation, pretty much. Pretty much all food and things, like other than little incrementals. It was basically like properly just being on the road. Sort of. You're part of a little tour gang, so that was on the technical side.
Did you know him before you went on tour?
Yeah. So we've known each other for years, and in terms of like big names who are really nice and supportive now, he's definitely just he's absolutely the same as he was when I met him when I first started comedy. Like he's not sort of changed at all. He's one of them people that fame has absolutely not touched at all in terms of change, like as a personality type or anything like that. He's still just a nice normal guy. And nice. Very, he's fun to travel with. But I'm trying to think. I don't know anyone that sort of supports the big guns. I don't know anyone that's a real dick who's massively famous. I know it's a weird thing to say, but I often find the biggest dicks you meet in comedy is when you're new and you're on the open mic circuit, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
They're the
I
biggest
supported
egos
Lou.
on the open mic circuit, aren't they?
Yeah.
But who did? Was
I
that
supported
Lou?
Lou Sanders on tour, and obviously she's absolutely brilliant, and we're really good friends. So that was just great, really
It's
fun.
just fun, isn't it? It's like having a little working holiday. Just
I bet Lou's lovely. Yeah.
Yeah,
like
she's so
I mean,
nice.
I know she is, but I mean, if you're opening for her and stuff,
yeah, just really supportive and has a really nice fan base. So because I had heard previously other actors who'd supported other comedians find the warm up quite difficult because they might be different stylistically to the act they're supporting.
I always like Joe Lycett when I've opened for him. It's just like perfect. He's just so chilled and relaxed, and we just have a laugh the whole time, and it's just a really nice experience. And you can just do whatever you like. He doesn't care. You know what I mean? Do 10 minutes, do 20 minutes. It doesn't matter.
The only times I've ever even been told like specific things to do or not do, like, you know, normally it's sort of, if you just go on, do your stuff, whatever, and they'll check, like, you know, like, don't do anything. If you're like, their show might cover a certain topic, they'll be like, if you can just avoid that, that would be good. But like, I've done it a few times when I was newer and I did supports for quite a few people. I a few times got told, don't talk to the crowd. Like, just don't do any chat with the crowd. Yeah, because basically it was them
just go on there and just don't say anything.
Start doing your mime act.
But no, it's because they didn't want you to get into some loads of fun banter with the crowd, and then they go on and I got to. I won't say who it is because they might feel a bit self-conscious about it. But I remember
a lot of acts want that though.
I remember them saying to me, "Look, if you chat to them and it's, you know, it's all fun banter, then I'll feel like I've got to do it." They were saying to me honestly, like, "Look, it means I'll be a bit like, oh man, I've got to chat to them now," and they like, otherwise they'll think I can't do it. So it was more for their peace of mind that I just had to just not chat to the crowd. But yeah, that's about as close as you'd get to there being strict rules or anything. I've never had anything particularly. I remember
in terms of the answer to the logistical question, Lou did pay for my accommodation, and we shared a room everywhere. And she drove us around the place. So in Manchester, it was before I could drive actually, but I remember her driving on the right-hand side of the road in the storm.
And you shared a room the whole time. It's like Morecambe and Wise
on her dashboard. Yeah. Scary driver, but a lovely person. Very fun.
What, in the same bed and stuff?
Separate beds, twin room. Just trying to get a visual on that.
Yeah.
Just for the listeners.
I remember the only sort of one of the worst stories I've heard about supporting somebody. I think we're allowed to say this now. It's in light of fairly recent things that have come to light. Was I remember Lloyd Langford supporting Russell Brand on tour, and or doing some supports for Russell, and it was just when Russell went stratospheric. Like, he went from being that like weirdo, you know, on E4 whatever, to suddenly just being like this massive comedian. And Lloyd got asked to support him by his management, and it was like in a massive event. It's probably in the Apollo or something, and Lloyd Lloyd gigged with him loads back in the day, the open mic days. You know, they started out around the same time. And then, so he was like, in his head, he was like, oh, I'll see Russell backstage. It'd probably be quite nice to chat to him. You know, I hadn't seen him in a couple of years since he got on telly. And then basically, as he got to the venue, he got told, you're not allowed to make any eye contact with Russell. Or if you see him backstage, don't say anything. Don't say hello. Just let him walk past and just, you know, and it was literally told, like, just as he got to the venue, that was the rules. Yeah. There was not a single moment where they were allowed to communicate or be in the same room or anything.
Maybe what? Because a lot of pop star, like Prince, used to be like that, didn't he? No eye contact from the staff and that.
But
it's like a nervous thing. They're in the zone.
I know, yeah, but not for the support act, I imagine.
It is weird.
You know, For the venue staff,
the
I
weirdest thing
treat
he's
venue
done.
staff. I treat venue staff like absolute shit.
That's the worst thing
Yeah,
he's
fine,
ever
because
done.
they're not going on stage.
Yeah. No, but I mean, it's I would never. I would
mean,
never
if that was me,
justify-
I'd be like, result. Like, I'd like to be on my own anyway. You know.
Yeah.
I
No,
was
but
going to say that to him anyway. You know what I mean?
Don't look at me. No, but it's that's the only one I've ever heard of, like those sorts of crazy stipulations.
But then what?
Yeah,
how does he introduce Lloyd to the stage then? Or does
It doesn't
not?
introduce. No. There'll just be a stage manager will announce, and then Lloyd goes on, does his stuff, comes off, interval, and then Russell goes on.
Comes off to a different exit then, presumably.
Well, Russell wouldn't even be watching side of stage or anything, probably.
Oh, right.
Just totally separate things. Yeah. So I mean, that's pretty. I mean, you know, it's almost as if he was a bad dude. Do you know what I mean? But let's do this question: have the royal family all been murdered? That is
not all of them. Some of them, I think.
What's the vibe? Because obviously I'm just removed. I'm down in Melbourne. You know, no one really gives a shit about the royals.
I mean, we're not hearing about it on the streets anyway. It's online.
What's the
I
word?
thought they love the royals over there because aren't they? They've got the same royals as us.
They have, yeah, but no one gives a shit.
they're
It's
not as
almost
into
like
it.
no, there'd be probably the Daily Mail Australia, probably like in that sense, but no one really gives a fuck. Like,
well, the paedophile's not been murdered, has he?
Which one's the
Who's
paedophile?
that?
Out and about. Andrew.
Oh, Andrew.
Oh,
then.
yeah.
Pizza Express Loki.
Yes, he's not been. No, he's definitely
he's
still
still out and
alive.
about.
Yeah, he's still at large. But because
Didn't
obviously,
they like sack him from being a royal or something,
I think
or the
so.
equivalent?
well, I think
Maybe I should say for the record, I don't think he's been convicted of being a paedophile.
No, but he just made a huge payment to an accuser.
Yeah.
So
He was at the same parties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so because the rumors, the conspiracy rumors, from what I gather, are the king's dead.
Why wouldn't they just say though?
Because apparently,
got new stamps.
because obviously William is next in line to the throne. But the rumor before that was that him and Kate had split up at the end of last year, and they're planning a divorce. But now Charles is dying or dead. They're like, what the fuck do we do? We can't have a new king coming in going through a divorce. It will literally.
I think if they wanted to keep secrets, there would be no leaks. Like, who would leak that anyway? Like,
if somebody dies, it's a pretty hard thing to keep under wraps.
No, I mean the split.
Well, the split. There's been rumors about that forever, isn't it? There's been rumors that he's had that mistress.
Yeah, he's been having an affair with one of her mates, right?
I think that you know that probably goes on.
Yeah.
Because her mates are fit. Not really. I don't know,
but
like that
he's
probably
only human.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is weird that she's not been seen.
He's only reptilian.
Since December. Like that is. Do you know what I mean? That is.
Yeah, I think the Mother's Day picture is the thing that's sort of been the catalyst for all of these.
Well, yeah, because I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but when they release a Photoshop photo, you're like, that's weird. I suddenly feel myself like.
But then it was such
I hear
a bad
myself turning into my
Photoshop job,
brother, who's a flat
like-
earther. I'm like, fucking something's going on.
But why don't people just believe it on face value that she was just telling the truth and she did try to doctor the photo?
Because why would she be doing her own Photoshop? She's a fucking next in line to the throne.
Because there is a thing about she didn't want photographers taking pictures of her children, so she was doing it a lot. So
but I've gone from not caring at all to sort of watching American TikTokers going into quite a lot of detail about that photo.
What are they saying? What's the vibe?
And they're basically like, the photo that she put out, the children are wearing the exact same clothes they wore on December 2023. And then she goes to like this charity event, and George and what are they called? Charlotte and Louis, is it?
Don't know.
They're all wearing exactly the same outfits that they were wearing at this charity event. And then the photo of Kate's face is taken from the front cover of Vogue and has been like manipulated to be put on the front of this other image. So she's obviously, well, not obviously anything, and who cares, but it is, something's going on.
Something's going on, that's it. But yeah, I don't
Wasn't
think
there supposed to be a big
just-
announcement, but there has been no
split up.
announcement.
Yeah.
Probably. But then she was photographed yesterday, wasn't she? But it wasn't her. It was
Well,
like William and Kate have been seen for the first time, and then it's just like a woman with brown hair who doesn't.
And also, then I've seen, now this is the thing, I saw that, and then somebody just said, "Why is there Christmas decorations in the background?" Apparently it's just another one from December. It's just
Christmas getting earlier and earlier every year.
It is like, yeah, because
maybe she just wants to chill out and out of the public eye for a little while.
Yeah.
Maybe, but
it's weird though.
It is well weird. There's conspiracy theories, because apparently there's that conspiracy theory that she was having an affair with a guy called Thomas Kingston, who happened to commit suicide 3 weeks ago. So there's other things going on.
Wow.
I know. There's it genuinely is it's an exciting one, even if you're it's totally
but then she was
cynical.
in hospital as well, so maybe she's just ill and doesn't want to be.
That's probably the most simple answer, but let's not ruin the fun. Come on.
Yeah, sorry. Maybe she's just not very well, Carl. Okay?
Yeah.
But it'd be
when does this podcast come out? They might have announced that someone's.
It's live now.
Oh, is it? Shit.
It's on BBC 4.
Finally a commission.
Somebody's asked about selling jokes in the questions, Julian. Obviously, that's something that you've got more experience. Have you ever sold a joke, Annie, or written for anyone else? Officially?
I've written for other people, but I've not sold a single joke, I don't think. But I've written on a few shows, like A League of Their Own. I was writing for Jill Scott, and then Fantasy Football League, and Jonathan Ross recently. But I've not sold
Jonathan Ross.
A gag for another comedian.
Were you writing for Jonathan Ross?
Yeah.
What's it like to write for somebody who's he's because he's such a famous, he's got his own voice sort of thing? How is it to write?
Yeah.
Or is it are you just trying to tee up little gags that he'll put in his own voice?
Yeah, I think that's it. It's more like teeing up gags, or they have an opening monologue where they cut to VTs from the week, so it's like linking jokes and setting up funny things from the week.
Was it in a writer's room, or were you just providing stuff?
It was a writer's room, but it was just me, because I arrived at this door that said writer's room, and then it was just me in a windowless basement. But I think there had been another writer working on it remotely the previous week. I've been in sort of writers' rooms where there's like 10 of us.
How is that? Because I've been in one where there was 5 of us, maybe 4 or 5 of us. Yeah. And I didn't like it. I found it. I'm very much I like the solitude of stand-up. I like sort of writing it and doing it myself, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
And like the moment other people get involved, I'll write with mates. I'll sit down, have a coffee, and we'll throw some ideas around and have a laugh and work on bits. Or mates will send me their show, and I'll watch it and give some feedback on what little tweaks that I'd recommend and things. But the actual thing of sitting in a room professionally and going like, right, let's do some jokes.
If you don't know the other writers and they're kind of experienced writers, and then you go in, like I got asked to do that, and I said no. Because it was a political show as well, and I was like, at this point, I'd heard of Nigel Farage, but I didn't know who he was. Like, that's how much I didn't know.
Yeah.
And they're assuring me that I asked to not do the job. Like I was I don't.
Yeah. I know what job you're talking about as well. I actually remember the show you're talking about.
Yeah, and but I did it remotely.
Right.
But it was so much work because I had to research as well.
Yeah, you had to learn about politics.
I had to learn what politics means. I thought it was a sport.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to do the writers' room.
Have you done? Yeah. So what have you done? Ones where you're it's not something you know about, and you've got to just sort of wing it.
I don't think so, but it's definitely like, I see what you're saying about going from doing stand-up to being in a room with other people, and I think I initially found that quite a hard adjustment, because with stand-up you are just by yourself writing generally all the time.
Yeah.
And suddenly
if it was friends and stuff, it would. I had to write for a comic, and I went into a room with him, and it was just pressure, man. He's just staring at you. I've done it a couple of times.
Who was it? Can you say? You can't say.
It was Lee Nelson.
Oh yeah.
But he a lovely guy, and I did a few hours.
Yeah. He's lovely, but he is
really,
also
really
so
good guy.
weirdly.
He's such a workhorse.
Well, that's
man,
it.
you know
I
what
was going to
mean?
say, weirdly, I've known him forever and get on
He's a
really well
good
with him.
guy.
But I would say he could be quite because he is like when his work ethic is terrifying to me. Like it's the opposite of how I live.
Well, he was a doctor, wasn't he? Like he's got that his work ethic into writing jokes.
But it's weird because I like in terms of that thing of I remember doing a session with like when Russell Howard. I think it was like I don't know. It was when Good News moved to Sky or something like. But I remember doing a session in that writing room where it was me, Russell, and his normal team, and you know, and I know them all personally, like mates and like that. But like the moment we're working now, I just was not ready for how serious the tone gets of like and like I just couldn't. I hated it. I remember coming to the end of the day thinking I can't wait to fucking go home because like normally you'd just be having a laugh with everyone and like you'd throw a joke out here, but you literally would like sort of go, you know, you'd have 10 minutes writing on one topic and then just throw some ideas around and you'd
they'd be
say
like, what you got on that, and just look you in the face,
and you just say, oh,
what you got on that, what you got on that,
and the pressure, and then sometimes
end
you
up
just
giving
say
him
something.
my own jokes.
Oh no, I just kept. I chucked anything. I was like, all right, this is an idea I've got, and it would literally be that thing. I'd say it, and they'd be like, you know, Russ would be like, nah, and I'll be like, fuck, you know, I can't live with this. Like, I just found it.
When
really...
they go, this writes itself, man, and everyone turns around and starts typing, you're like, does it? Why? It's not writing itself.
Yeah,
my keyboard must be broke.
I didn't enjoy it at all. I think I'd rather do it with a bunch of strangers I've never met before and I don't know, you know, than doing it with people that I know and don't.
I'd sooner do it remotely on my own.
And then
if you do something, and there's something that they don't laugh at and they think shit, and you're like, oh my god.
I just went to the spa at David Lloyd and just sat there and just with my laptop, man. It was easy. Just enjoy it, like making it a nice thing to do.
Laptop in the steam room.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. All right, we should wrap it up in a sec because it's late for me. It's almost my bedtime.
Oh yeah.
It's 10 p.m. But
what are you 14?
Mate, honestly,
that's the beginning of the night, man.
No, it's not. I can't. Have I told you about when I got a text from my former drug dealer recently?
Saying you owe me money, bitch.
No, but have you?
That why you're in Australia?
This is. But are you? I mean, let's not get too into the lifestyles.
What's his name?
But you know, when drugs moved on to WhatsApp, when drug dealers moved on to WhatsApp, and suddenly you started getting these weird like weekly menus. Guys, this is what I've got on offer this weekend.
I know.
I just happened to, in the old days, I used to be on a couple of those little mail shots, and then I sort of fell out of all that, and I just now I'm sort of have the odd drink, but I've been super, since I've been in Australia, I've been like a bloody proper boring dad. 2 pints. Oh, I might have 2 pints. You know what I mean?
Well, also in Australia, whereabouts are you? Is it Melbourne?
Melbourne, yeah.
Stuff shuts really early, doesn't it? In Australia, I feel like they're up at maybe that's more Sydney.
No, you can still always go out and stuff. I've had the odd big night out, but basically what I mean is the last sort of year or probably a couple of years since I've become a dad, I've definitely not been the party guy I used to. But I got a text just out of the blue from an old drug dealer just checking in to see if I'm like, hey mate, how are you? You still out and about? You know what I mean? It was like
you still clean.
It was almost quite sweet that he sort of was like, But then he said,
he just wants your money though.
Yeah, of course. And the quote was, what was it? Let me read it. It was quite funny. Like, do you know when they try and do jokes, drug dealers, and it's really
you still want to suck my dick for crack?
Just so sweet of him to check in.
Oh.
We used to get flyered when I went to Leeds Uni. We'd get flyers through the door for MCAT. Do you remember MCAT?
I've heard of MCAT. I'm not sure what it is.
It was like methadone. Methadone.
Oh. Yeah.
That's like a painkiller, essentially, is it?
There's one that's methadone and one that's methadone. I think.
Oh.
Here we go.
One's like what they give you when you're coming off heroin.
Oh yeah.
Something else.
Here's the terrible.
Both delicious, no doubt.
He goes, still got the best rocket in London, straight from NASA. It will
talking
blow
about his
you away.
dick.
It will blow you away. And then get a load of this. It's that good. Elton John's making a remix called Rocket Bag. Now we have 2 types of bags, and he just gives his price list. One for 60, VIP, one for 80.
We'll put his details on Patreon.
Yeah, I will. Times are available 7 days a week, 12 till 5 a.m. Oh, yuck.
I mean, that's some good hours, man. That's some prime time, man.
It is, but
Isn't it?
imagine ordering cocaine at 4:45 a.m. Like, that is such a... To me now, the thought of that makes me feel sick.
Did you reply?
Yeah, I've got
The
4
thought of this
bags
makes
of
me
Rocket
sick.
Bag. Fucking loaded up. Mate, chuck me 5 for 4, yeah? But I'll wait till I get back to London and then absolutely go on a bender for 3 days. But no, not for me, thank you. Let's wrap up proceedings. So people can find you on Instagram, TikTok now. They can find you on TikTok.
TikTok. Do you know, I actually wrote down what my TikTok handle is because I had no idea. It's just my name, but with a couple of underscores in between. Annie underscore Mcgrath _.
Oh, right.
Okay.
2 underscores. One at the end.
Follow
just an
Annie
underscore
on
at the end.
TikTok.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, that's it's a weird place for an underscore, but yeah, it's all right.
I know. I thought that when I wrote it down an hour ago.
And you're on TikTok, Julian. Is that a new thing?
No, I've been on there for a long time. I just don't really use it. I might start doing something.
Good, yeah, good work. That's the spirit.
And the worst plugs ever.
Yeah, I might.
There are loads of underscores. I'm on it, but I don't do it.
Yeah.
Mine's just underscores.
One big long line.
It's a line.
But thanks for joining us to chat about
Thank you for having me.
The Royals, writing, art. We'll be back next week. Any final thoughts, Julian?
No, thanks for our patron support. We love you very much. Without you, this couldn't be possible. I wouldn't have been able
Just like you're reading an auto cue.
I know.
What else?
It's like you got a gun to your head. Say the fucking words I've written down.
Thank us.
All right.
Thanks for joining us, Annie. Thanks
for having me.